you come back into me and say you can't have that many horses. But anyhow, these horses, the water pump had broken, and in a flash, you're basically going, oh. Hello everybody, welcome back to Train Sim World, where we're about to begin the Chapter 4 Mainline Driver for Great Western Express. Mainline Driver has a lot of missions. It's going to take a while to go through all this, but we're actually going to start at the very top. London Paddington to Taunton. This is supposedly the 27-minute mission compared to the dragline mission right after it. In order to get this one, we need 8600 AP score to get platinum. I'm hoping I'm going to remember that, but we are going to see. We are driving an HST from Taunton, from London Paddington to Reading. Alright folks, so let's get right into this. It's been a little while since we've driven the HST, not just because we've been driving the Class 66s, but also because of other stuff. It says we got to get to Reading by 16:54, and that is our only stop, and our schedule is basically starting right now. So let's go ahead and turn on our DSD isolate to on and our AWS isolate to on. Turn on our master key. We're also going to turn the reverser handle from engine off to forward. Press Q to get rid of that wonderful button. And from here, if I remember how to play this game, I believe the cab lights are definitely on already. We're going to turn them on just for a minute, actually. I just realized they're not on. We're going to change the train supply brightness to bright. We're going to not even use the windscreen de-icer. We are going to use the spare because it does absolutely nothing. So we'll turn that part on. We're going to turn our train brake on to running while that is going down to running. It is currently 4 o'clock, so therefore we can still use day headlamp and markers. Once it gets to about 8 o'clock, then we can talk about using night marker mode. In the meantime, what else do we need? We just need to put our throttle up to at least throttle 3, and from there, this train should finally head out. We should be, for the most part, having green most of the way to go. All we're waiting for is our brake cylinder to finally drop off, which happens to be the same thing as the bogies here. As you can see, we are on a roll. What I will want to do is turn the cab lights back off in just a second, and one thing I do like is turning on the engine room light, just because it's so much fun. The other thing we want to turn on is not the buzzer, but the gauge light. Turn those on so I can see a little bit better. And after that, we don't need to turn on the brake test or nothing like that. We might as well contact the Singler if we remember where the phone is. There's like 3 phones in this cab. One of these is going to contact the Singler, and it's been, oh god, it's been a minute since I've last driven one of these, so I don't remember which phone it is I'm supposed to actually contact the Singler with. Phone, where are you? Oh, it was this one. I'm so dumb right now. I'm so dumb. It was actually this one. It says proceed a single to indicate no problem necessary. Let us head out. We have to go about 40 miles an hour, and then from there we're going to bump it up. We're turning on a little bit of fan speed, a little bit of climate control. Outside of that, we should be good to go. With that, we're going to turn the cab light off so we can actually see where we're going in front of us. All we realistically need are these gauges, and everything else we don't need. I only turned it on for you guys, the viewer, because it's important to see what buttons I'm pushing, even though this is actually pretty good from this viewpoint. Going on the outside of our engine, you can see our engine light is on. This is why I wanted it on, just to have a little something to shine lights in. You can see we have a pretty long HST right here that is going to be driving from here all the way to Reading. No rush there, right? Oh geez, I'm already overspeeding. Good job me. I am ruining my mission from the get-go. One of the things I need to make sure in this mission is the speed limit is properly counting. It said I got 32 AP, so I must be getting my 65 AP, because that other mission, it failed me miserably because it didn't give me the 65 AP like it was supposed to, and that drove me absolutely bonkers. Where have I been lately? Whether the last video went up on that Friday, I don't actually know, because where I'm now at is in the middle of a weekend after a very busy long weekend. So I'm going to go tell you guys about that a little bit. I'm also going to tell you only doing 32. We're going to have to wait for the next speed limit thing. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the weekend before, where I had to cancel that one video, which really sucked, and it just drove me nuts that that even had to happen. Oh my god, I'm getting out of my seat. Don't do that. Oh, I'm never going to see the speed limit now. My goodness. Tell me we're going to go over the speed limit, please. Come on. What happened to the 60? Where's the 50 zone? Oh my god, I can't even go 50. That's just dumb. A couple weeks ago, when I had to cancel a video, I was working at a horse ranch, and I do this because it's great for volunteering. It's a lot of fun. If you've never worked with horses before, there's my 65 AP. If you've never worked with horses before, it really is something special. and it really does something to you, the person, the soul. It really does change your life. What I do appreciate the most about working with horses is the fact that you can actually have conversation with them. Almost like a 1,000-pound dog is essentially what horses are, but the horses have more opportunities to step on your feet, and when they do, it is no fun. You can either break a toe or get bruised severely. I've already gotten stepped on by at least one, but they were the mini horses. Thank goodness they were only 250 pounds and not the full 1,000 pounds like all the other ones. But it's been really magical actually to get to see the horses transform from wild beast all the way, or wildebeest if you want to call them that, all the way down to this wonderful domesticated, just heart-filled animal that just wants to be around you. The one day that I had to cancel the video, what happened that day? The water pump decided to burst and break open, and this is the water pump that served the entire facility of 10 acres. So you have how many horses? 22 horses living on 10 acres. It's not exactly 10 acres. It's actually a little bit more than 10 acres, just so you know before you come back to me and say you can't have that many horses. But anyhow, these horses, the water pump had broken, and in a flash, you're basically going, oh. And when that happens, you're like, what do I do now? How do I give these horses water? And the worst part of it all is we were in the middle of filling up water when the water pump decided to burst. We had at least 7 horses that had no water whatsoever, and that was not pleasant at all. These 7 horses, we managed to scrounge up some extra water actually by dripping the hose, because it is not gravity fed, it's well fed, and there was just enough water coming out of the hose to fill about 6 little buckets of water. That was enough to fill up the rest of the water bin and get their water bin all the way up to the top. And with that, 2 of the horses at least had water, because they have actually a shared water container. We had to actually just fill that one back up and everything. Horn. No, this is not my horn. Oh my god, I changed my headlight. I don't want that one. Oh my god, what have I done? Damn that. I'm gonna go, don't get screwed for that one. I was trying to honk the horn. I haven't played this for a while. 2 of the horses we managed to get water. The other horses, unfortunately, they didn't get water. So we had to actually pack in 5 horses living in the middle of the arena. And we fortuitously had just split up the arena for that purpose, to have horses go out. And it was actually, like the second day that they were all going out to the arena. This place had moved from one point A to point B. The place had moved back in December, and we had been in the middle of building stalls essentially for 3 straight months. And it's been kind of a nightmare because the horses moved all in one week. All ended up in the arena, and then they were all eventually getting individual stalls in the middle of rainstorm, in the middle of flooding, in the middle of just mud piles that go up to your ankles. It just took a lot of work to get the place spruced up, I guess you can say. It is finally at a point where summer is right around the corner, and we finally have all the horses in their own stalls. But what we didn't anticipate, the water pump going out. What this meant for the water pump is they had to pull out the water pump, take it back to the company, rebuild it, and they not only had to replace the bearings, but they also had to replace the wiring, which had gotten wet because of the bearing that had leaked. And that took not just one day, but 2 whole days of no water for these horses. It was terrible. And lo and behold, the facility's like, by the way, go walk 10 acres, and there's a faucet there that you can get direct water supply from the well itself with real pressure. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. So we had no idea that was there up until the facility actually said that was a thing. Yeah, so that was one of the days that basically took me out. And then, not kidding, folks, I was like, oh, thank goodness the horses have water. Well, I better go home. So here I am at home. I'm here just hanging out here, doing my other job and whatever, and then I was about to go to the horse place. And as I was going out to the garage, I looked on the ground, I'm like, why is there water running on the ground? Cat, did you spill the water that you guys have? And I should have known better to know that the cat did not do this, but it turned out the cat did not do anything at all. They're completely innocent. Neither did the dogs, by the way. My water heater decided to burst. That happened on Thursday, folks. This is Sunday now, and I've had to deal with a broken water heater for about 3 days. My God, that was so expensive. So by the time the water heater broke, I was already owing quite a few, lots and lots of money that probably had, oh my God, people off the line that had lots and lots of money. That was not a good thing. And here I am having to pay a 3rd round of about the same price for the water heater, on top of the same price for my bills, on top of the same price of the other stuff I had to pay for too. on top of everything else I normally pay for in a given month. So here I am panicking and freaking out that I have no money left over because I just paid off one of those things, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, these things are still double that price and I still can't afford it. Not unless I get like 5 paychecks in a row or something like that. So I'm kind of screwed right now in terms of money, and money kind of tight right now. You know, I go to the store, I'm like, I went to one of the stores. We have a Lowe's and we have a Home Depot, right? So I go to one of them. I'm not going to mention names or whatnot, but I go to one of them. One of them's like, hey, I need a water heater. My thing is broken. I'd like to get a water heater. Please, can you fix this for me? Give me customer service, whatever it is. I'm standing in there for flipping at 1 hour. They say they can do same day repairs, same day installation, as long as you call before 12 noon. And I'm like, but I've been here since 1 o'clock. Nobody's showing up. They called multiple times on the PA. Nobody showed up. I'm like, well, screw this. I'm like, screw this. And out I go, and I drive off to the other store. I'm not going to name which one that is, just so you guys can kind of figure out what stores these are. They also have a thing that says they can also install the same day. I'm like, oh my god, they could have just done this in the same day in the same store, and you wouldn't believe that that didn't happen the way I thought it would happen. So I go there and I'm like, I need a water heater. Somebody give me a water heater. I can't get this in my car because I have the wrong car today, and I need to get this in the house today to get this installed. And honestly, I probably would have done this myself, but my butane torch was basically out of propane. I didn't have the propane necessary. Actually, I didn't have the butane. Why would I put propane in a butane tank? I don't even know. But yeah, my butane tank was empty, and I didn't have the resources to get more butane to be able to unweld the pump that's installed on the side of the water heater. Instead, I had to go with the fact that I had to get a water heater delivered for an extra 35 bucks. Then I had to go and get an installer to install the water heater because I just didn't have the tools to unweld the part that it needed unwelding. Good job me on that part. So I wouldn't have expected this. I've gotten a water heater from them before. It actually worked out. Things worked pretty well. Everything was done in-house. So you go buy it. You literally go in the store, buy a water heater. You go to customer service. They deliver it for you. And then you get the installers right there. And then they'll put it in for you. Life is awesome. What did I know? The store changed the rules. Now they're contracting out everything. So the delivery guy came in a car that looked like the car that I took to the store. He strapped the water heater to the top of the car. I was like, I had those same straps. I could have saved myself 35 bucks and scratched up the hood of my car and put it on top. But I'm not going to do that. I didn't want to scratch up the hood of my car, but I could have done it. And I'm like, dang, I screwed. I could have done this. And no, it gets better, folks. It really does. The installer also is contracted out. The installer comes from like an hour away to come to the house to be able to install this thing. They can't come the same day, but thankfully delivery did. They come the next day. They didn't come at that pointed window that they said they were going to come in on. But they did manage to come probably 30 minutes beyond the window. The guy who was there was very customer service oriented, very friendly, really nice guy. Did a great job. No problem with him at all. What I do have the problem with is the state's rules on water heaters. Apparently now you have to have a pipe that goes through your water heater all the way outside your house, which meant drilling into the hole of the side of the house, and out the tubes go. This happened in the previous place we lived in. Water heater went out. We had an installer come in. They did the exact same thing. The difference is this house has an extra wall where I thought it would actually go to where the cats are. Turned out that wasn't the case. More on that later. What is kind of crazy, folks, is the installer not only installed the water heater, he put the whole thing in really well, did a great job, put it up there, put the new expansion tank. I'm like, why do I need an expansion tank? It worked fine before that. They're like, that's why your water heater went out. I'm like, the water heater went out because I've had this thing for like 10, 12 years. That's really why it went out. And I have no idea how long I've had it before those 10, 12 years, right? What happened is the vent hood didn't fit. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. So because the vent hood didn't fit, the installer had to take out the entire water heater. He was so kind. Here's how good he was. He was like, I will go to the store and I will take the water heater back in my van and we will return your water heater, and I will go out and pick up the shorter water heater, which will fit the vent hood and all that good stuff. So he was so kind to do that. He went out of his way to go to the store, drop off the water heater, let me return it, let me purchase the new water heater, which by the way costed more money than the first water heater, which drove me nuts. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I'm paying more money now. And not only that, I don't get my $35 reimbursed for the delivery fee. but at least I didn't have to pay the markup fee for the installer. That would have really sucked to have to pay the markup fee, because the markup fee would have been about $1,000 from what the installer had said. So the better way was to do customer supplied, even if I had to go back and forth twice. The second day, I can't believe it did this. But the second day, the water heater guy comes back out. Same guy, really nice guy. I'm really happy he came back out again. He comes back out, pulls out the water heater, goes off. He's doing literally overtime on a weekend to install the water heater. And all of this went in. It got installed pretty well. He took probably close to the same amount of time that he took on the first day, minus maybe like 4 hours, because he didn't have to drive to the store to do all that return stuff like that with me. He did a very good job. He put the water heater in, he put the expansion pipe in, he put the, not the expansion pipe, but the outlet drain pipe. He put the water pan pipe out. And what did we find out? When he drilled the hole into the side of the house, I thought it went into the cat room, but it didn't. It actually went outside directly. I was like, holy crap, this is right above our vent hood for the dryer, and I freaked out for a second that he punched a hole in there, but it turned out he didn't. It was actually, I realized the entire time I've been putting stuff on a shelf. Right below that was the vent stuff. I didn't even know it was there that whole time. I can't believe that. I'm very happy that it would make you drill straight outdoors, because that made my life so much better. Because if he didn't do that, I don't exactly know what I would have done otherwise. So I'm going to drop my throttle down to 0, because I got a couple yellow lights up ahead. There's not just one, there's not just two, but there's probably 3 out there. So we're going to slow it down a little bit and coast our way down. So almost 2 weeks ago, the water pump went out at the equine facility. And then just this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was without hot water up until today. The only gripe I've got about the installer is he took out the pump. The pump that makes you serve the house by essentially pumping up hot water. And it runs all the time, quite frankly. He pulled it out, he thought it was bad, and he said you don't need it. And so now we got, instead of maybe like 10 seconds waiting for hot water, now we've got something along the lines of waiting 30 seconds for hot water. I'm not complaining too much, it's just a little bit more of a wait. I personally enjoyed the pump. It would have been nice to get a second pump, but I don't have the resources to even get that second pump. Because it's probably going to take me until, oh gosh, maybe August, September, probably September, before I can pay all the bills off completely that I paid in the exact same month of this month, which happened to be May. I did not expect to have to pay 3 different bills, all the same price as the water heater, and the installation, and the double trip, and buying a second water heater 3 times. Probably gonna take me to September. That's my situation, folks. Alright, we have the AWS going off on us, and it's just telling us it is time to slow down. We're going to slow down this train break 3. We're going to try to get us down to about 40 miles an hour before we hit that second light. But we did make it to 80, so I'm very happy about that. You can see our stops coming up in 5.5 miles, which is going to be roughly after that yellow light. That should be, no, actually, we're going to be stopping before the stop. There's probably a networker turbo in the way. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. The last episode, and also part of the episode before that last episode, my voice was just insanely crazy. What happened was my recording software decided to do a crazy update, and in that crazy update, it was just dumb. I can't believe it did that, but it did something weird where my voice basically just started yelling in the thing. I didn't notice it until after I recorded 2 whole episodes, folks. Actually, well, that's not true. About an episode and a half, so I'm talking about this loud. It recorded that and put me in skyrocketed in high ear shrieking mode. I tried to do my best to adjust it as best as I could, but it didn't quite work out the way I intended. So folks, if I do apologize if my voice just came out just bonkers for you guys. In the meantime, before we even get to Reading, I do want to say thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for supporting, thank you guys for being there, even though I couldn't be there for 1 week, even though I couldn't be there actually during the time I went to do school for the better part of 1.5 years. So thank you guys for also just, you know, standing by me and just kind of hanging out with the stuff I do. I am currently doing train sim videos, at least for the time being. I will see how long that goes for. Part of what I'm doing, not only for you guys, but also kind of for my own sanity too. I don't want to kind of just get stuck in one type of game only. However, I am enjoying the train sim lifestyle, I guess you could say, because I get to learn a whole lot, and I intend to talk to you guys about that as we go along in Mainline Driver Chapter 4. But in the meantime, definitely like, subscribe, leave me comments, of course, and if you're liking how this is all going, let me know what you want to hear more of. This just happened to be a little snippet of my like personal day-to-day life that I didn't expect to have in the last 2 weeks here. By the time this episode goes up, you guys will be long past me finally getting a water heater. Hopefully the horse place water pump stays on and everything. I wouldn't mind talking to you guys more about the horse facility. If you guys want to know more, do let me know, and I'm happy to share that with you, because the horse facility actually moved from one city to another and is in the process of eventually moving to a third location. So not only have I built stalls back in the original city, I actually had to build them the first time, I had to build them the second time there, and I had to build them the third time in the new location. And I probably, when they go to the new location, more likely have to build them a fourth time. The plus side is you get some good exercise, folks. You get some really good muscle. The cool part about the horse program is what it does for people and how it helps. And what I really want to do, if I can ever make this happen, is switch my job from one job to working at a horse program. I would love to do that, you know, even if it's just temporarily. I would just love to get into that for a little while, help create their programs, help create their organization, develop the tools that's necessary to get their fundraising back on track and everything. Part of the story essentially is the fact that the owners are essentially almost in their 80s. They're still working. It's insane that they're still working, but they've been doing this for, oh gosh, at least 20 years, and they've not retired from this at all. And they're kind of getting to a point where they're not going to be able to keep it up or keep doing it any longer. And this is where I'm like, I really want to help them out. I really want to make a change here. I really want to make their situation sustainable. And what they really wanted all these years was to be able to have their horse program continue beyond them. Most of their fundraising basically was word of mouth. So it's insane that they managed to get enough money to feed 22 horses in the course of a year. It's really impressive how they did that, and they have a really great culture. Their culture is really approachable, really all about just getting your hands dirty, getting your feet wet, jumping in with the horses, learning about the horses, and just, you know, that culture of learning, empowerment, growth, compassion, empathy, confidence boosting, self-esteem boosting, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm more than happy to tell you in a different episode if you want. I'll give this episode a shot to at least go live and then, you know, see what you guys think, and then kind of go from that point. We are about 0.8 miles away from Reading. I did not pass the single yet, but there is a chance I might pass the single. We finally hit 89.05. We needed 8600 for our platinum medal, so we know we have a platinum medal today. So this was a really nice quick trip to get us started with mainline driver, get us back in the HST. The next one actually going to be dragline from what I remember. Oh my god, I hit that button. Dragline is the one where you get to tow another engine. That's supposed to take like over an hour to play that one. Probably not going to play it tonight because I want to play some other games and whatnot. But I am looking forward to getting involved with dragline. I just need to make sure I got the time for it. Alright folks, we are going to slow our train down. We're at 25 miles an hour. We want to at least get down to 20, because I know the single at the end of Reading can be kind of sketchy and you can accidentally drive through the single. We know we are turning to the left a little bit to head to one of the platforms over there. I don't think it even said what platform we're even going to. It doesn't even say what platform we're going to. That's just dumb. Well, we're going to a platform in Reading. We're going to call this platform 1 just because it's the closest one that I can see to the left, and therefore that must be platform 1. However, the UK folks drive on the wrong side of the road, so this is probably platform 7. We'll call it platform 7 because there's more over there. Who knows what it is. We want to try to make a perfect stop as best we can at the HST sign, but at the same time, we want to be able to get our train to coast all the way to the end of the green zone. Trying to stop an HST in real life is ridiculously hard. Trying to stop it in Train Sim World is a little bit easier because you get a little bit more chances to practice driving. Because if I screw up, I can always reload the mission and I can always do it over again. Unlike real life, where if I screw up the mission, I'm over the line, that's it. If I pass that single lane danger, I basically screwed up forever after that, you know what I mean? And that's it for the engineer. He gets towed out, which is probably why dragline's even happening. We're going to find out in the next mission, folks. So with us 40 yards away, we are going to try to make this a nice perfect stop at the W.H. Smith building, because our other bad danger sign is 25 yards, and that's just scary how close that is. That is why it's so important to try to stop this as close to 0 as you can make it, folks. Full service, and with that, we're going to pick the DRA, turn that on, unlock the doors. I forgot all about that tab to unlock the right door. Let's go outside and see what's going. Let's go outside in camera 8 there. That way we can see what's going on here with everybody. We're gonna load our passengers up, and I believe we made this. There's nobody here. Where the heck are all the people? Nobody's even on the station. What's the point of being here if nobody's even here? There's like 3 people here. This guy's going all the way to the back of the train. Good job, you. You're going to the smartest door in the world. Let's see if you actually go in. I'm super curious if you do. I bet you will. No, he walked right past the door. No way. I don't believe that. So you're going to go here with this lady. You two are going to be kind of sketchy. Waiting on platform 8. Wow, I was off by 1 number. You're not going to go there. What the heck? Where are you going? Okay, now I am super curious. Where is this guy going? He is waiting for another train. Him and this other lady are probably waiting for the next train coming up. That's what it is. They're waiting for the Oxford train or the Exeter train. One of the two. They're not coming until much, much later in the evening. In the meantime, we've got to lock our doors up. Let's go ahead and lock the right door, and we will call this mission 1 and done. Speeding 195 minus. Otherwise, we did really well with everything else. I am very happy about that. It didn't even say anything about left vehicle unsafely by me getting out of the seat. That's crazy. By the way, I should say this one more time. Do like and subscribe, leave me a comment, and definitely watch the next episode, of course, because you know there's going to be more Trains Sim World coming up. And with this said, I am shocked there's nothing in here about the headlights that I screwed up by turning the headlights to marker mode. That's kind of crazy. Just because this correct cat setup is not even valid as an option. So folks, with this one, we're calling it 1 and done. Let's see you in the next one. Bye, guys. I'm totally shocked by how much construction equipment there is in Train Sim World. It's just insane. And they're doing a lot of building here, obviously for obvious reasons, because they're trying to upgrade the rail line to do 3 different things: for diesel engine, for battery powered trains, for electrified wires above our heads. All of this stuff's happening.